guys, it's Crystal, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about traveling and preparing for trips when you have gastroparesis. Now, a lot of the times people will ask me, can I travel? Can you go on vacation? How do you manage that with GP? And I just happen to be going on vacation. And so I've prepared all of my stuff just the way I normally would, and I thought I would take this chance to show you how I prepare and what I mean when I say that preparation is really the key to being able to travel and have a good time with GP. So the first thing that I always do when I'm traveling is to make arrangements in advance, if possible, for food and dining options. So we're going on a cruise, so I contacted the director of the cruise and I have requested that the menu be provided to me in advance every day so that I can make any modifications necessary and any special requests. So that's one thing that I'm doing. The other thing is I always bring my own food. And even if I think there's going to be food that I can eat, I still bring some of my own food because you never know. And it's better to have things that you know are safe and that you know don't cause your symptoms than to take the chance. It's better to have food and have to bring it back home with you than to be stuck somewhere and not know what to eat or have options that aren't GP friendly. So for instance, for myself, I'm bringing Orgain, and if Orgain is something that you're not familiar with, it is an organic version of the meal replacement drinks. So things like Boost and Ensure, those don't always settle very well for everybody, but Orgain sometimes settles a lot better. And it is organic, and it has a lot of vitamins and a lot of good stuff in it, and it's something that I like and I use as a supplement. So I bring Orgain, and that's if I can't get a good protein, especially. Sometimes it's hard. At home I make a lot of smoothies for my protein. Sometimes it's hard to do that while you're traveling. So Orgain has 16 grams of protein in each carton. So this is a good supplement, and so I bring several of those with me. I also bring with me these little packets of almond butter. So each one of these is 1 tablespoon of almond butter, and this is really good to just keep on hand, again, for some protein, for some healthy fat. If you go out to breakfast even and get toast or an English muffin, you can spread this on, and you know that each packet is GP friendly, about 7 grams of fat per packet, good healthy fats. And that's part of a balanced meal, and that's part of what we do with GP is make sure we're having the protein, the fat, and the carbohydrates all in the right amounts for GP. So I make sure I bring these. I also bring some low fiber, low fat snacks, just so that if there are meals that I can eat, but in between I get hungry because we obviously eat smaller meals with GP, I do pack snacks, things that I know won't bother me. So for instance, EnviroKids organic rice bars. These are low in fat, they're low in fiber, and they're pretty easy to digest. So I do bring things like this. The other thing I bring are macro bars, and these are meal bars. They're organic, they're macrobiotic. There are 2 flavors that I like. Some of them have peanuts in them or dried fruit, things that aren't necessarily GP friendly, but for instance this one, almond butter with carob, no pieces of anything, no nuts, no dried fruit, no seeds. So these are GP friendly, and these are healthy. They have like 4 ingredients, and they're a good substitute, sometimes along with an Orgain. If there's not a meal for you, this could be a good meal alternative. And so these are things that I bring. These are especially handy for airplanes. They're a little bit more substantial than something like a Special K bar or a breakfast bar, a Nutri-Grain bar. First of all, they're a lot healthier. They don't have the chemicals and the additives, and secondly, they're a little bit more substantial, so they feel a little bit more meal-like. And again, these are called macro bars, and so these are I'm bringing quite a few of those. And so in addition to food, I always bring plenty of remedies. I hope to obviously not have symptoms and to not have bad days and flare-ups, but you never know. And so the best way to handle that is to really be prepared. Be really, really, really prepared. Be over-prepared. And then you'll have whatever you need. So for instance, I bring a Queasies. These are good. If you haven't seen these, they're little aromatherapy inhalers, and they have some peppermint and some other essential oils in them, and they're good for quelling nausea. So I bring a Queasies. This I bring on the airplane with me as well. Chewable Pepto-Bismol tablets. Chewable Nausine tablets. If you haven't seen these, they're available in most pharmacies in the children's section. They have medication for nausea, they have an antacid, and they also have electrolytes in them. So these can be really helpful whether or not you're traveling, but certainly while you're traveling to have on hand. I also bring these Pedialyte sticks. They're individual doses of Pedialyte, and you can mix them right into a bottle of water. And I always just bring a couple of these just in case. They're wonderful if you're feeling dehydrated for any reason. They keep your electrolytes up, so I always bring those. I also always bring with me glucose tablets. Now, I'm not diabetic, but with gastroparesis, it can be difficult to manage your blood sugar. And so depending on what you've eaten or how your body is reacting on any given day, how your stomach is digesting, you can have swings in your blood sugar. And so you can end up in a hypoglycemic state. And so if you don't have something GP friendly that you can eat right away, and you start feeling kind of shaky and sweaty and headachy, I always have the glucose tablets with me, and I just take one or two of those, and that kind of tides me over until I can eat again. And in eating GP-friendly meals and well-balanced meals with the fat and the protein and the carbohydrates in GP-friendly proportions helps prevent that, but I always have that on hand anyway, just in case. The other thing I bring is plenty of Zofran, the oral disintegrating tablets. If you have an anti-nausea medication, whether or not you take it on a regular basis, it's a really good thing to bring while you're traveling. And so for me, I don't take Zofran all that often now that I have the gastric neurostimulator, but certainly when I travel, I bring plenty of Zofran, and especially since, you know, I do plan to try some new foods, I want to have the Zofran with me. And that's an interesting point too, is when you travel, you kind of have to make the decision. Either you can go based solely on what you know to be safe, and that way you can try to avoid symptoms and try to avoid bad days, or you can make the decision that you do want to try some new things, and so you just make sure you're really prepared for that with different remedies and different medications just in case something provokes symptoms. So that's why I have my Zofran and the wide variety of over-the-counter nausea medication. In addition, I do have crystallized ginger that I'm bringing. Ginger is a fantastic natural remedy for nausea, and it also can help motility and digestion. So I have crystallized ginger. I have my ginger tea. I really like this traditional medicinals organic ginger tea. I drink it all the time at home, and I always have it with me when I travel. And I'll bring, you know, a couple of tea bags in my purse to have while I'm traveling just in case, and the rest in my suitcase. Likewise, the ginger honey tonic, which is great. I mean, you can take it just right out of the bottle, even if you have to, and it'll calm your stomach a little bit. So I have 3 different kinds of ginger because ginger really works for me, and all of these things together give me a lot of different options, and I'm very well prepared for whatever happens. Now, on top of that, I also bring my regular vitamins. I take a chewable multi-children's vitamin. I don't stop taking anything when I travel. Anything that's part of my daily routine, I bring with me, and I keep doing it. You don't want to get out of your routine. That just sets you up for flare-ups and for things just kind of getting out of whack. Plus, then you have to try to get back into your routine when you come home. So whatever I take daily, I bring with me. So children's chewable vitamin, probiotic, I take L-glutamine, so that's coming with me. I take 5-HTP, that's coming with me, a B-complex vitamin, and also digestive enzymes. So those I'll bring with me. And so between making sure that I have food that I know I can eat with me at all times, all of the various remedies for the nausea, and then my vitamins and my supplements, and my medication, of course. I'm pretty well prepared for whatever comes. And like I said, my plan is we're going on a cruise, and my plan is to try some of the food at dinner. I've made the decision and I've planned in advance that I will stick mostly to foods that I'm very comfortable with for breakfast and lunch and snack, and whether that's what I brought or that's whatever they have on the ship. I'll stick to things I know for breakfast and lunch and snack, and then dinner is where I've decided I'll experiment when and if I feel like I want to. Obviously, that might change from day to day, but that's the plan, and so I'm prepared for whatever happens. The other thing I'm bringing that I always recommend is a heating pad. And usually at home I use a microwavable one, but no microwaves on the ship in the cabin, so this is just a regular electric heating pad, and that I always bring. It's really good at night if you have any stomach pain. It's also just relaxing, and it draws blood into the digestive organs. And so when it draws blood into the digestive organs, they function a little bit more efficiently. So recommend the heating pad always, but especially when you travel, just because you never know. Now, also traveling, whether or not you have a problem with constipation on a daily basis, as part of your gastroparesis or dysmotility, traveling can cause constipation for anybody. So when I travel, I always make sure to bring some stool softeners or laxatives. I happen to have a bigger issue with constipation as part of my gastroparesis, so I do bring what's called Lacey LeBeau tea or Super Dieters tea, and that's a senna tea, and then also my regular regimen for that. So just things to keep in mind. But like I said, people are always asking me, can I travel with gastroparesis? Do I go on vacation? And yes, I certainly do. I've been lots of places since I've had gastroparesis, and really the key is preparation. And so as you can see, it seems like a lot, and it seems like a lot of work to prepare these things. I mean, while other people are making sure they have, enough sunscreen and cute sunglasses, you kind of have to put together all of your medicine and your food, but it's really worth it, and it makes the trip a lot easier and a lot less stressful. So those are my tips for traveling, and I hope they're helpful, and thanks for watching. Bye.